I'm Bradford Cook, CEO of Endeavour Silver Corp, and welcome to this presentation on Endeavour. Let me go right to our presentation today, entitled Driving Organic Growth. I will be making some forward-looking statements, so you are duly cautioned. And Endeavour Silver is considered to be a mid-tier producer of silver and gold. We own and operate 3 underground mines in Mexico. And there's basically 4 key catalysts to drive value for shareholders, both short and long term. Catalyst number 1 is that 6 quarters ago we initiated a sweeping operational turnaround to reduce our costs and boost our free cash flow. And I'm pleased to say that we're nearing the end of that 6-quarter turnaround, and we've been enjoying several quarters now of falling costs. Catalyst number 2 is that Endeavour Silver has one of the best, if not the best, organic growth profiles in the silver mining sector. Thirdly, every ore body that we have developed, every mine that we've built, has been on the basis of the exploration successes, discoveries of our exploration group. And last but not least, we are acquisitive from time to time. We've done 5 asset level acquisitions in the history of the company, and so we are actively looking for opportunistic mergers and acquisitions. Because we're a pure precious metals producer, only silver and gold, no base metals, Endeavour actually has a sector-leading beta, or leverage, of our share price to the silver price, which is a real benefit in a silver bull market. We're headquartered in Vancouver, BC, and all of our core assets are currently located in Mexico, an exploration portfolio in Chile. Our first and largest silver mine is the Guanacevi mine in Durango State. Our second and historically most profitable mine is the Bolañitos mine in Guanajuato State. Our third mine and newest, most gold-rich mine is the Campas mine in the Zacatecas State. Moving on to our development pipeline, next up will be our great Terronera discovery in Jalisco State, followed by the Parral find in southern Chihuahua State. Some highlights from the first half. As you are all well aware, it was disrupted by COVID-19 in Mexico, courtesy of a government mandate. All mines shut down for 2 months in Q2. And notwithstanding that, our first half production came in at about 1.5 million ounces of silver equivalent production. Again, the only equivalent being gold. We continued to improve our financial and operating performance. Each mine generated positive free cash flow, notwithstanding the suspension of operations in Q2. And I will come back to the Terronera project. We have a presentation here on the pre-feasibility study published 2 months ago. And even after a decade and a half of exploration in these famous old districts of Guanacevi and Guanajuato, we continue to find new high-grade mineralization through brownfields drilling. The company has about a 50-50 split of revenue, silver and gold, and Guanacevi is our largest mine. So let's have a quick tour of the assets. Guanacevi is not only our largest mine, it's our most silver-rich mine, about 85-15 silver-gold split. And it's the only mine we produce doré bars, which we have refined into pure bullion. That gives us the flexibility to sell or not sell on a weekly basis. In Q2, Guanacevi continued to outperform. You can see that our operational turnaround has had a real impact on our costs. What was once a very low-cost mine had become high cost in 2018 and 2019. And through our operational turnaround, we've successfully driven the costs down quarter on quarter, even in Q2, when we only operated for 1 out of the 3 months. Moving on to Bolañitos, acquired in 2007. From 2009 to 2018, we pulled over $200 million of free cash flow out of this mine. But for the same reasons that Guanacevi suffered in 2019, Bolañitos also hit on hard times, basically overstaying our welcome in the original discoveries made in 2007, 8, and 9. And instead of mining the original thick, high-grade, shallow ore bodies, we were left trying to mine deeper and lower grade and skinnier ore bodies while we made the transition out of the old mines and into some new discoveries that we've made. That transition is only 3 quarters old, and we still need another quarter to complete the operational turnaround at Bolañitos. But you can see the impact here on the tons per day going to the plant. In the last year, we've seen a significant bump in our production from the mine to the plant. At El Campas, we commissioned this for commercial production in March of 2019. It's our smallest and most gold-rich mine, and it's our most boring mine. It's achieved its mine plan and it's basically chugging along at close to the plant capacity. And there's still some areas that we can improve, grade for instance, but nonetheless it's achieving what it set out to achieve, delivering free cash flow. So let's move from the operating mines now to the development projects. And first up is Terronera. Terronera is located on the west coast of Jalisco state, only an hour and a half's drive on pavement from the resort city of Puerto Vallarta. And Terronera not only has large, low-cost mine potential, it's truly our next core asset. When it's up and running, it will effectively double our consolidated production and half our consolidated costs. Terronera is a district-scale opportunity spanning over 17,000 hectares. We've now mapped and sampled over 50 old mines on the properties. And we've just announced a full feasibility study is underway to do a final de-risking of the project. Our pre-feasibility study published in July, however, showed that we should be able to build a 6 million ounce per year silver equivalent mine, about 50-50 silver gold. And there's been 2 bona fide discoveries on the property to date. The Terronera discovery is the bulk of our current reserves, and the much higher grade La Luz discovery is our sweetener. Based on the most recent iteration of the pre-feasibility study at $16 silver and $1,400 gold, we published a couple of months ago a net present value in the $137 million range after tax. After tax IRR 30% and a payback period of 2.7 years. What's really special about Terronera is that it's not only currently 80 million ounces and still growing, it's got a gold credit, and if you take the cost to produce the silver net of the gold credit on a cash basis, the cost is zero. In other words, gold pays for the mine and the silver is effectively free. Even on a life of mine all-in sustaining cost basis, including life of mine capital, exploration, taxes, royalties, head office costs, we expect to produce silver for 10 years at Terronera for a measly $2 per ounce. So here's some comparison on the metal price scenarios. Pricing is the most sensitive metric for value at Terronera. And for a 6 million ounce per year mine with a 10-year mine life and $100 million initial capital expenditure, look at what the current price environment does to our values. Excuse me. Now these prices are 10 days old, but nonetheless the impact on our NPV was 2.5-fold higher at $350 million. At today's market capitalization of $575, that's more than 2/3 of our current cap. The IRR doubles to 65%, payback period shrinks to 1 year, and the after-tax annual free cash flow is almost $60 million a year. So that's Terronera. It's in full feasibility study now for 9 months at a cost of $1.5 million, and we hope to pull the trigger on a development decision next summer for cash flow in early 2023. Moving to Parral, I'll just touch briefly on Parral. It's another emerging new discovery in a historic district. It used to produce 4 million ounces a year up until 1990. And there's 4 historic mines on the property: Veta Colorada, San Patricio, Palmilla, and Cometa. Veta Colorada, you can actually access the mine, drive right down to the 7th level. We're doing underground drilling there. It's a district scale opportunity like Terronera, but it's still in the advanced exploration stage. So it'll be a big exploration project next year before we move to economic studies and permitting. And last but not least, we're very active in Chile to really answer a simple question. Once Endeavour grows to 15 million ounces of silver equivalent production per year, which would be our current production plus Terronera plus Parral, how do we grow the business from there? It becomes more and more difficult using these small, admittedly high-grade underground mines to grow from that level. And so Chile is our answer to that question. We went there several years ago in the bear market. We staked 3 spectacular alteration zones. They've developed into 3 bullseye targets. You can see the photos here. These are massive targets measuring kilometers in every direction. And what we've developed after several years and several $1 million of geological, geochemical, and geophysical studies are 3 effectively bullseye targets. Cerro Marquez is our porphyry copper target, and because we're not a copper company, we'll most likely joint venture that project to a copper major. Paloma is our multi-million ounce gold target. We wish to start drilling it here in the 4th quarter of 2020. And Aida is our multi-100 million ounce silver target, and it's suitable for drilling starting next year. So all of that adds up to a sector-leading organic growth strategy. Our cash flow is highly leveraged because we, amongst the silver producers, are one of the very few who have falling costs, as well as rising prices. We have the sector-best leverage to growth thanks to our development pipeline. And with 3 swings of the home run bat in Chile, we have real opportunities for new world-class discoveries. In terms of our market cap, it's currently about $575 million US. We peaked at about 7 million shares a day in the 3rd quarter, currently about half that during this current correction. And we cleared at the end of June with a cash position of about $30 million and a working capital position of about $45 million. No long-term debt, just some short-term equipment leases. We're traded on the big boards in New York, EXK, and Toronto, EDR. And our biggest shareholder is the VanEck GDXJ Index Fund, owning about 6%. The largest silver mining company in the world, Fresnillo PLC, has a 2% toehold in the stock. 10 analysts cover the company, and again, we have a sector-leading beta to silver at 1.6. So why invest in Endeavour? What you buy with Endeavour is a mid-tier silver producer who, through the development of our own organic growth pipeline, will become the next senior producer of silver on the planet. We're led by an experienced management team. We have a strong balance sheet with no long-term debt, and we're a pure silver gold player. Thank you.